Hello everyone, myself Priscilla. This is a new initiative brought to you by Transform IAS Academy. In this, we will be detailing the current affairs on a daily basis related to UPSC and KPSC exam. So let's get started for today, 16/6/2018, the Hindu analysis. So the first news item, pollution curbs the monsoon cleansing. So here we have the impact of pollution on monsoon. The first explanation, the recent study found that increased pollution, particularly from coal burning, have potentially weakened the ability of the monsoon. So the ability of the monsoon is actually weakened because of increased pollution, and they also tell that in winter when atmospheric moisture is low, fumes from unburned particles get dispersed towards the Indian Ocean, leading to vast pollution haze. However, what happened to unburned particles in summer is still unknown. But they're also telling that the pollution particles can cool the sea surface temperature mostly in winter. It was found that when the circulation reverses in summer, the cooler sea surface evaporates less, which can reduce the moisture flux, leading to weaken the monsoon. The IMD, Indian Meteorological Department, forecast a 3% dip in total amount of the summer monsoon rains this year. And we also have that the pollution levels, especially in the North India's Gangetic Plain, shoot up in the winter. The cities have witnessed increase in air pollution during the summer season, and the few areas which is really having the worst air pollution is Delhi, Gurugram, and several parts of UP and Rajasthan are facing a huge dust haze. And apart from that, just because of the air pollution, the air quality levels have been moved on to severe category on the air quality index, and Indian rainfall is enhanced in spring due to increased loading of black carbon. But the monsoon may subsequently weaken through increased cloudiness and surface cooling. So these are the important reasons for the impact of pollution on monsoon and the reasons why the monsoon is being weakened, and due to it we might also have a dip in the rainfall in this monsoon. The next we have is the center allows the pulses import despite overflowing godowns. So now we have the pulses being imported, and they're raising issues too. We are having an overflowing of godowns with pulses, but still why is an import happening? The government actually allows the pulses to import despite the surplus stocks, and the government justifies stating that the center has allocated the quotas for the import of pulses and is enforcing an additional import agreements with Mozambique. So we have the Agriculture Commissioner, he predicts that domestic pulses production of 24 million tons in 2018 and 19 because of good monsoon, and also a good production will lead to fall in the prices of pulses. And apart from that, in the year 2016, India had signed an MOU to double the pulses imports, mostly harhar from the East African nation over a 5-year period, and this obligates India to buy 1.5 lakh tons from the Mozambique this year. And apart from that, India is also exploring the possibility of similar long-term agreements with countries such as Kenya. The reasons for it is that for such kind of a decision, first one, it wants to balance the needs of the Indian consumers and simultaneously fulfill the commitments to the foreign trade partners. However, this particular move or the government's decision is not showing an happiness to the farmer groups, because they have been agitating about the following crop prices. They are not happy about the government's decision on importing the pulses, and also with respect to falling crop prices. So why Apaches for harming, asked the critics. So this is just a basic to what has to be taken into consideration. I just read out for you all. Apache helicopters. In 2015, the IAF procurement plan was approved. A contract for 22 AH-64E Apache attack helicopters and 15 Chinook heavy lift helicopters signed with US and other on September 2015. The delivery period was from July 2019 to March 2020. Under the present procurement plan, the IAF will operate 22 Apache attack helicopters, while the Army will have 6 of them. At present, Air Force operates all the big helicopters, including Mi-35 attack choppers, and these aircrafts can have a disproportionate firepower on enemy tanks on the ground. Presently, the Army operates only smaller Cheetah and ALH, it is advanced light helicopters that weigh less than 5 tons. These 6 Apaches will be operated by the Indian Army, which has long pitched for attack helicopters of its own. So this is about the basics, And the next we have is trade deficit widens to $14.62 billion. So you need to understand what would be a trade deficit. And here India's merchandise trade deficit has been widened up. What would be the reasons for it? First and foremost, there is a 50% increase in the global Brent price, and also an export may grow faster on the back of engineering goods, petro products, chemicals and pharma. And apart from that, we should also understand what are the major export groups that witnessed a strong growth, and they are engineering goods with almost like 14.8%. Then we have the petroleum products with 10.45%, and we have the organic and inorganic chemicals with 34.2%, and we have the drugs and pharmaceuticals with 25.7%, cotton yarn, fabrics, made-ups and handloom products with 24.7%. So these are the major export groups which has actually witnessed a strong growth of this particular trade deficits. Then the challenges pertaining to it would be this: to sustain the growth momentum. Secondly, the US-China trade war. Third, rising raw material cost. So these would be the challenges accompanied with the trade deficits. The next one, when Shimla queued up for water. This is the possible reasons for worsening situations. Now, Shimla has been worsening with certain situations of queued up with water. First and foremost, reasons to be stated is that the debris deposits has resulted in blocking the water streams. Whatever the debris has been depositing, those depositions have blocked the water streams. Secondly, the high tourist footfall during the summer has led in reducing the water availability, and moreover, poor maintenance of pipelines. There is a consistent leakage of pipeline and also a rising population. Most farmers are cultivating vegetables, which has increased the water consumption and also led to the changes of soil profile. And apart from that, there is a crisis which results in a failure of government agencies in exploring a new sources of water to meet the demand in the town. And apart from that, we have to know what would be the consequences of the dried up of streams. The first thing, the stream dried up for the first time in the last 40 years. In the catchment and natural springs are vanishing. There has been a change in the vegetation pattern as well, and the tree cover is shrinking, and unscientific dumping of debris and muck and water streams is rampant. And they're also justifying that the drying up of the streams also increased the erratic pattern of rainfall. The failure of sewage treatment plant that was upstream was eventually identified as a source of contamination. And lastly, most of the farmers here have been facing similar hardships and have suffered the crop losses. So these would be the consequences of the dried up of seasons. So looks like the consequences are really which has to be taken into considerations. And this is for today, 16/6/2018. Thank you.